Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely phantasmagorical day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by commenting, or by subscribing. These do all help with Al Gore's rhythm, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we finally have an answer. I mean, it's a weird answer, but at least we have an answer. For those of you who have not been looking at the news or have not been seeing it's just been like a 2-year-long implosion of stock markets around the world. It says Asian stock markets were down on Tuesday amid concerns around Chinese property group So I've seen it pronounced different ways. I don't know how to pronounce this thing. I've seen it pronounced as Evergrande. I've seen people say Evergrande. Sure, I'm going to say Evergrande. And the impact on the Chinese financial system. Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 index was down by 2%, while the Hang Seng in Hong Kong dipped by 0.8%. The Dow Jones fell by 1.8%. That followed similar falls in Europe, with Germany's stock exchange falling by 2.3%, and the CAC 40 in France down by 1.7%. Major stock exchanges in mainland China were closed on Monday and Tuesday for the annual Mid-Autumn Festival. How convenient to have a fall at that time when, everything else is kind of crumbling. So the news is, as I've been digging around and looking for it, I told you before, I literally try my hardest to stay away from actual news as much as I can. I find it incredibly depressing. There's just so much nonsense happening in the world for the last 6 or 7 years. There's been no actual respite at all. However, did my digging and basically found out that this is the largest Asian property manager, as far as I'm able to tell by the news. And apparently, I believe they have, $300 billion? Yes, $300 billion in debt that they cannot pay back. There are many charts floating around out there. I'm sure you've seen them. Maybe you've heard about them since the late 90s. The trajectory of the Chinese markets in general has been going up. I mean, normally when you can expect like a 2 to 5%, growth per year, they've been doing a good 15, 20, 30% year on year. But it looks like that's starting to come to an end. There's just so many things. Their property sector is like, when you call Bitcoin a bubble, theirs is like a master bubble, because they build cities that people don't even live in for the last 10 years. This infrastructure is crumbling. People can't pay back their debts because the way that companies and institutions work is that they do everything on debt. And when it's time to pay the piper, there's no money in the bank. So the news being is that if there's a problem with their largest property developer, creator, holder, and they can't pay back their debts, well, then boy howdy, that means that nobody else can as well within the country. And as every single country and every single market and every single thing is basically tied together, or so we are told, as they fall, we also fall as well. So it appears as though, as we got news over the weekend that things were looking a bit crumbly over there, every other world market was also basically ready on Monday to begin falling as well. And therefore, the panic set into every other market. And the cryptocurrency market was not out of the ring, it was also affected as well. And therefore, this is why we dropped in price. A lot of it kind of, I don't want to say annoys me, but it's been this way for years. There are always things that happen in some sort of other way around the world, and we are constantly told that Bitcoin in our market also has to be affected. I do understand that we are technically part of the tech area, and therefore when tech stocks are also affected, we tend to be affected as well. People can say it's because we are commodities, and commodities are also affected. They can say this because we are security. You can go down the entire list, but at the moment, that appears to be the reason why this is happening. The entire idea is, once again, if they can't pay, that this may cause a cascading effect across the entire world's markets, and therefore then that'll cause a stock market crash, which then leads us back to where we were last year around March. You all know what took place, where cryptocurrency prices fell back down to the, 2016 levels from whence they came. So yeah, this seems to be, not even it seems to be, this is the actual major news right now. Everyone's completely losing their minds. The cryptocurrency, the word isn't integrity. It's our fundamentals are still completely intact. That's usually the thing that kind of irks me behind my, my head, I don't know, behind me somewhere. It's because Bitcoin hasn't really suffered. People are still using Bitcoin. The network is still completely fine, as is Ethereum, as is every other coin. But having this panic selling is kind of ridiculous. There's also some other news. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere around here as well. It says Bitcoin plunges on global stock crash. Where is the next critical support? The next critical support apparently was at 40 and 42,000. We are currently at 42,910 according to the little numbers above the screen. We hit down, we bounced back as did the rest of the cryptocurrency market as well. I'm going to assume, here's a good assumption, if markets open once again, as Asian markets already open, beginning to open at this time of the morning, if they start falling, that means the normal stock markets, the New York Stock Exchange, will also then begin to fall, and then we may have another pullback in the cryptocurrency market, and we will be told once again this is because of the situation happening with Evergrande. Sure, why not? Bitcoin and Ether respond to key support levels. Thank goodness, because they had no reason to fall. And the entire reason of this market is that it's meant to be detached from other markets, as we have no real actual correlation between them other than being tech and computery. And also we've been merged into securities and commodities because that's a way for people to make sense of our market, even though it's something entirely different. It says traders buy the Bitcoin dip, even as Evergrande's implosion rocks stock markets. Yes, surprise, surprise, surprise. We are going to get news relatively soon, as we always do. Every time our market dips, we have people who buy the dip. And it's not like I bought $50 worth of Bitcoin. No, we're going to hear of companies who bought $42 million, $150 million. It happens every single time. I think the first 3 times it was like a big shock. We're like, wow, what confidence they have in the market. But no, they know exactly what's going on and how exactly it's going to bounce back. So while there is panic and fear or whatever in the market, this rapid, excessive, rich people buying ends up taking place. And usually one of the saddest parts, at least to me, that ends up happening is when people do sell off, it's usually the newest people in the market. They sell off, they're never able to regain their previous position. The people who've been in the market for a while, they're the ones who buy up as the price hits 40,000, pops back up to 42,000, and then these people eventually, the other people who sold, basically end up going, you know what, I don't care for the market at all. And then they wait and wait and wait, prices pass by, and then they finally FOMO into the market. Anyway, basically this is the prettiest looking one because of the image. But there were a lot of articles saying the exact same thing. As prices dropped rapidly in the cryptocurrency markets, the the largest whale wallets were buying up as much Bitcoin as they possibly could. It just tends to be what happens. Tying is not even loosely into this. It is exactly into it. I don't know why that food is on the table. It looks delicious, but I don't think it actually has anything to do with Bitcoin or El Salvador. Unless that's there. El Salvador continued to capitalize on Bitcoin's market opportunities, so much so that the silver lining in the cryptocurrency price retracement has been the country's president announcing that they bought the dip. As Bitcoin's price fell below 46,000 on Monday, the president announced on Twitter that El Salvador bought the dip, adding 150 Bitcoin to the country's holdings, priced at over $6.7 million at press time. This brought the Central American government's tally to a total of 700 BTC, valued at over 31.5 million US dollars. Yeah. Also very popular news. Are we surprised? No. Other countries were probably doing the exact same thing. It really is, we're at this really weird, it's not even a crossroads. Like, I think we're well beyond that point now, but it's abundantly clear that other companies and other countries are definitely buying into Bitcoin in some sort of way. Like, even when you hear the amount, like $31 million worth of Bitcoin may not sound, as amazing as other numbers that we've heard. But other countries are definitely probably... There's so much happening. Like, it's so evident that even over the last couple of years that the normal stock market should have crashed many years ago. We are completely overvalued. Everything was going up during the panini, is what I'll call it. I don't know. Doesn't something feel really weird about world markets? Like, it seems like this really weird, coordinated, let's move everything up, and then when prices drop, everyone's like, oh, they also have to drop as well? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my tinfoil hat. Not really sure, but something feels a bit off about the last, forever. Anyway, so prices are down. That's the price news, if you will. There were websites out there reporting on this like nonsensical bull and bear stuff, and like Solana's down by 8%. Have the bears won? And it's like, do you not know the other news that's actually happening? There was one website in particular, I know the name of it, but I won't say it out loud. Oh my gosh, like the last, I think 50 things that they posted were just these really weird, like technical analysis things that weren't even technical analysis. It was like, can Litecoin survive? Will Cardano do well despite the crash and with smart contracts? Are smart contracts not helping? And it's like, no, the world's economy might be in trouble, so therefore that's why the lower cap coins in our market also are not doing too well. I don't get it. Anyway, that's the price news. That's the El Salvador Bought the Dip news. And let's move on. Also, sure, this was also in the news, and I'm not really explicitly sure why it became super popular. It says Coinbase has announced that its USDC lending plan will not be available to customers despite earlier launch plans. The company revealed the cancellation by retitling and updating a blog post originally published in June. In that post, Coinbase indicates that as of the 17th of September, it is not launching the USDC APY program. It's called this a difficult decision and said that it will turn its work to what comes next. Coinbase also said that it has discontinued the wait list for the program, which had attracted thousands of users. You may remember a couple of days ago, the US SEC came forward and said that they would basically sue Coinbase if Coinbase launched this program. For those of you who don't know what the program is, it was basically a lending program. So I think you lend them your crypto or maybe USDC, that is the US dollar coin on Coinbase's platform, and then you get 4% back. That was the entire platform. This may not seem shocking to you because every other cryptocurrency platform already does the exact same thing. For some reason, the US SEC put its cowboy boots on and walked over to Coinbase and was like, nope, you can't do this. And even Coinbase said they don't know why. They said the SEC had a talking to a bunch of people in their offices, and then at some point was like, yeah, you can't do this. This is a security, and basically walked out. So all over the place news today. Coinbase halts plans for crypto lending product amid SEC pressure. Coinbase drops lend product plans after SEC lawsuit threat. I would say I'm not really sure why, but we know exactly why this is all happening. The SEC is on the warpath. They are trying to get control of everything in the cryptocurrency space. We had news yesterday that Binance is not only bending the knee, but also kissing the ring of regulators around the world, basically saying we are going to look for a physical location so that you can walk into our office and scream at us in the face. So, I mean, once again, there are many other platforms who already have the exact same lending product. It's just that Coinbase doesn't get to launch this one. I wholeheartedly assume in the future that products like this are going to be very popular as early adopters of crypto who may, we don't know, in the future make an enormous amount of money, are going to start using these programs and platforms as a very secure way to be able to get back money every single year without actually having to work. But, that's in the future. Anyway, that's the Coinbase news. Let's move on. Also in the news, leading Brazilian investment bank BTG Pactual has launched a new platform enabling customers to make direct payments in cryptocurrencies. The bank's Mint platform, that is MYNT, currently allows users to purchase Bitcoin and Ether, with BTG Pactual expressing his intention to launch support for additional crypto assets in the future. Andre Portillo, BTG's Pactual head of digital assets, said, "At this first moment, we will have two main assets on the market, but we will include other cryptos for trading over time." This is how it always happens. It's always Bitcoin and Ether, and then other things roll in. We will have a complete platform with blockchain-based assets. BTG Pactual CEO Roberto Sallouti described Mint's creation as being in response to demand from our customers who wish to trade crypto. Cool. Why not? It says leading investment bank in Brazil. I am not in Brazil, so I do not see this on the street all the time. If you live in Brazil and you know BTG Pactual, please tell other people in the comment section if it's something amazing or awesome or something that they should potentially be looking into. Banking platform adding crypto to their platform. Is anyone shocked? No, you shouldn't be. It happens all the time. Banks know exactly what's going on. They're probably one of the main factors in people, or rather, I'm sure that they're buying tons of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies themselves, because we keep getting really weird banking news about them trying to launch ETFs or ETNs or doing business overseas, or the rumors that we've had before about them accumulating Bitcoin. And just as a throw out there, as a bank or as any institution, you do not add Bitcoin and Ether purchases to your platform without you actually holding it yourself. You don't bet big on something and then go, I don't really feel like holding it. It doesn't sound too nice for our portfolio. Anyway, so cool. Another bank has joined the banking systems. Okay, all right, let's move on. All right, that was the Brazil news. All righty. And to finish things off, there was very, very little news today. The last, like, I dug deep. If you look back at the last, I want to say 10 to 11 hours worth of news, it was just really weird price news. Anytime that there was like a slight fluctuation in Bitcoin's price, like going up by 1%, the articles around that hourly time frame were like, here we go, bull run back intact. And then the moment we kept on going down, because, math, the articles from the same website, they would have new articles basically talking about how low will Bitcoin go. It was a very weird, odd pattern of these websites trying to follow like a certain price theme, but it was just tons of price news. There was no actual substance, if you will. Like, the most popular thing today was stock markets are collapsing and Coinbase can't launch their 4% earnings thing. Yeah, kind of weird, right? What should have made some of the news, and hopefully it makes it over the course of the day, it says Bitcoin miners are accumulating. There's missing an S there. Bitcoin miners are accumulating as the network's hash rate continues to recover. According to on-chain analyst provider Glassnode, in its 20th of September week on-chain report, Glassnode has stated that Bitcoin miner balances are increasing, with wallets associated with miners having stockpiled 14,000 Bitcoin, worth roughly around $600 million over the past 6.5 months. The report also noted that the bull markets of 2021 and 2020 have seen miners hold on to larger portions of their rewards than in previous market cycles. Miners usually sell Bitcoin to cover their expenses, including electricity bills and hardware, and there's a little pretty chart right there. This is incredibly bullish. What we typically see is, as the article just said, is when they have to pay electricity costs, which, it's not $150 per month. It's usually like, a multi-million-dollar bill that they have to pay for all the equipment that they're actually using, the new equipment that they're going to be buying. We've seen historically that as people who are mining Bitcoin, as they hold on to their coins, as they are not selling, as they are accumulating more, we can tell because we know which wallet addresses that they have. They're typically quite transparent to say, hey, this is us. we're the address who's mining. These are the coins that are going to that address, and we can typically see when they lower as they're selling off to pay for their electricity, or when they're not selling at all. So they're not really selling, they're continuing to accumulate, and this usually means that they are optimistic or do believe that Bitcoin's price is going to increase, and they basically don't want to miss the train. Yeah, so awesome news. I do apologize. I do not have my phone with me. It's actually charging because I woke up and there was no battery. You know that moment like where you click the little button on the side and you're still trying to like wake up and you go, maybe I didn't click the button hard enough. And then you hold the button because you're angry. Not angry. But then it has a little like battery bar and it's like red. That's basically what I dealt with. So anyway, yeah. That's going to do it for this video. I don't have the prices on the screen simply because do you want to see the sea of red, or does that not work? Anyway, yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed. It's a very weird day. It's a very weird everything. You've been around for the last 2 years. I assume, listen, the stock market's bound to crash at some point. It can't go up forever. We are currently in a, what is it? 12 or 13 year bull run? It's not too normal. Bull runs typically go for about a good 6 or 7 years historically. Like if you just look at the actual charts of stock markets, have really good couple of years and then they fall back down over and over and over. We're basically double overdue for a stock market crash. Other markets around the world have not been doing well for a very long time. We've known about concerns within the Asian market also for a very long time, but very few people ever really talk about it. I watched something yesterday about, and it was so fascinating. Hello, my friend, if you're watching. We've been discussing basically digital art, NFTs, and a whole bunch of things within the space. And when you listen to these people who are talking, whether it be on YouTube or in conferences or, you know, these events, they're basically saying that investors are looking for a way to basically get out of the US dollar. And this is why we see a lot of asset prices kind of rising very rapidly. Other people can easily do the math and see that the US dollar is inflating. Other countries are also having this exact same problem. But usually when you hear the news, it's never the actual issue or things that are really going on. It's kind of glazed over. Even I can't say the word because of the algorithm. When people hold up signs and go outside, that's also happening a lot around the world, and none of it is really. So anyway, all these things have major effects on markets, and we are seeing these effects now on every single world market. But there's typically, normally, like a big event that kind of takes place and everyone then goes, oh, that's the reason why everything is happening, when it's kind of everything all at the exact same time. So Bitcoin adoption is continuing. It's actually a lot quicker than I assumed it would be. I originally years ago assumed it would take us another 4 to 5 years from this moment to really like see any type of, you know, massive adoption. But alas, here we are. So yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all may continue to try to have a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and supporting. We'll keep track of what's happening in the market. We kind of have no choice but to do so as time will continue moving forward. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.